Good morning, and today's walk starts at St. Peter's Church in Farnborough, and we woke up today to about a couple of inches or so of snow. It looks really pretty through here. St. Peter's dates back to the Saxon times, and such a beautiful place. I'm actually spoiling the snow here by walking in it. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a walk around. Because from here, I'm going to follow the little lane that leads down towards the original part of Farnborough, the area known as Farnborough Street. So be very careful here, because it's really... quite slippery underfoot, so we've been really careful not to fall over. Let's look at that. It's really pretty. Let's get the rooftop of the church in there, and it's not snowing right now, but the forecast is saying at about 10 o'clock it's going to come down quite heavily again, and the sky looks like it's full of snow. Yeah, you can generally tell from the sky. It's that kind of sepia colour, that sort of tobacco colour as I call it. That's full of the white stuff. It's going to come down in about an hour or so, apparently. Right, I'm going to show you a few interesting things today that you may not know about Farnborough. I must apologise, I'm still a little bit full of cold, so I'm sounding a little bit muffled. It's all gradually shifting out of my system. It's not that cold actually, it's quite mild. It must be a couple of degrees or so above freezing. I found a path which leads up, there's a little alleyway that leads up a hill. It's a little bit dicey today because it's covered in snow. But I believe this leads to the original hill from which Farnborough gets its name. So Farnborough comes from the Saxon name of Farnborough. Farnborough means Fern Hill in the old Saxon language. So come up here to this little woodland, and I believe this is the original hill, and it makes sense because just around the corner from here there's a place called Farnborough Street, which is the original settlement from which the town evolved from over time. So it's really pretty today. All the snow on the ground, and possibly the first human being up here today. I see bird footprints, and looking out across the rooftops of the town, all covered in snow, and there's more to come, which will be interesting. Luckily, I'm not sort of going too far today. My car has remained in the driveway at home, and all of this is a walk from my front door. It's fantastic. So this is the original hill, and it is literally just a small hillock really, around which the modern day settlement of Farnborough has been built. Hear the blackbirds singing in the trees, and yeah. Anyway, I must press on, otherwise I'll get cold standing in the same spot. So, heading in this direction, and I'm going to be extremely careful. There's no grits along here, but there's some steps coming up which lead into another alleyway, and I do have a plan. My plan is to follow this road down to another path which takes us up behind Farnborough Abbey, which is another interesting place. So just opens out into a little park, and let's carry on from here. We've now come down another path. No surprises there. And what I should do in the editing stage of this video is I will add in some maps to show you where I am, because I tend to record clips and stop recording and then start recording, because otherwise you'll just be listening to my footsteps on the paths, and that gets a little bit on the boring side. But this path cuts through between some fields, a park, and takes us behind Farnborough Abbey, or St Michael's Abbey it's also known, and we'll get to see that in a moment. If you follow me on Instagram, you might recognise this path from the summer when I came down here and took some photographs. It's a beautiful old path. It's trees, and it's still evergreen. It's mostly holly, and possibly yew trees as well. And it was probably planted by the monks, I'd imagine. I don't know for certain, but that's my guess. And the abbey's been here since the 1800s. It's not that old. And we'll pop in at some point in time in a future video, because the story of the abbey is fascinating. It's a really interesting place, and warrants a video of its own, to be honest. But look at this field over here. Isn't that gorgeous? Just covered in snow, some of the grass peeking through, and a beautiful winter landscape here today. And I can hear the distant road, which will be the A331. But you can also hear the bird song through here. Blackbirds, robins, song thrush. And just seeing a magpie up ahead. It's starting to snow again, actually. Just a very, very slight snowfall coming back through. So I might have to put my camera. Ooh. I was saying I want to be careful of where I tread. Almost fell over. Oh dear. Anyway, I'll show you the abbey any moment now. Coming up here on the right is an allotment. This allotment is only about 4 or 5 years old, and it's been provided to the public by the monks at the abbey. You have to pay for it though, it's not free. But it's come along really well. Let's go have a little look. Obviously not allowed on there, but just put the camera up over the fence a little bit. Let's plunk it through the fence we go. That's the beauty of this tiny little camera. And Yeah, I think every plot is now in use. I remember 4 years ago it was 50% in use, but now it's doing really well. And over this way, we have Farnborough Abbey, and you can see it quite well. In fact, you can see both parts of the Abbey. So the building on the left is the monastery part. It's a shame we can't zoom in with the pocket. And on the right is an mausoleum. And in there remains is the tomb of Empress Eugenie. And I should tell you more about that another time because my memory's gone blank on me and I don't want to misquote the history. So I'm going to read up on that and we'll come back to that another time and I'll tell you a bit more about it. Anyone who sees the video and wants to make some comments on some good resources for the Abbey, let me know. And I shall swat up and do a video dedicated to it. It's looking really magical through here. And this path runs alongside the main train line between Southampton and London Waterloo. You can see quite a few people being along here today. Possibly grids this path actually. This leads to a park. That's called, I think it's called Rectory Road Park, or Rectory Road Recreation Ground, or something like that. There's got a few families out tobogganing today. The schools are probably closed, and people are trying to get into London possibly can't get into London because the trains are delayed and affected by the weather. The usual sort of thing that happens here in England. Get an inch of snow and the whole place comes to a standstill. I'm approaching the area I mentioned earlier on that's called Farnborough Street. So this is pretty much the old village Farnborough grew out from. There's the Prince of Wales pub, famous for its ales, and it's a freehold. This area here is Farnborough Street. These are some of the original cottages and houses here. Obviously mixed with some more modern properties. And here is the sign. Da-da-da. sign has Farnborough Street on it. So this is the actual Farnborough Street itself. I can remember when this place used to be a pub. It's now been turned into a couple of houses. Very smart it is too. It's a bit of a funny old pub really. Never really was that successful, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna head back. It's getting colder. I think it's going to start snowing again, so on the homeward leg of my circuit. I'm now walking up Highgate Lane, and I often wonder why it's called Highgate. It must have a history of some sort. Well, thanks for coming along for my walk today. I hope you enjoyed it. And it's interesting to go and track some of the history of the town in the snow. It looks quite different, obviously, in the snow. And I should do more of this kind of thing in the future. Farnborough has a lot of history. Aviation history is one thing, but there's a lot of history that goes way back beyond that. There's a Saxon history, there's the history of Empress Eugenie, Napoleon, Queen Victoria, and there's woodlands not far from where I live that was originally part of the Crown Estate, the Windsor Great Park, which is now a lot smaller than it used to be because of developments of towns over the centuries. Places like Bagshot, Camberley, Frimley, that all sort of separate Farnborough from Ascot and Windsor on the sort of the Berkshire side. Because where we are here, we're on the borders of Hampshire, so in northeast Hampshire here. Surrey is literally a stone's throw from where I walked today. There's a bridge going over the 331. I was going to go across it, but it's looking a little bit slippery, a little bit dodgy, so I decided not to do that today. But another time, when the weather's a little bit better. Anyway, have a great day, everyone, and it's now time for coffee and muffins with butter and marmite on them.